Hello, students. Today we are going to study a very interesting poem by Nissim Ezekiel. The title of the poem is The Railway Clerk. And this is Nissim Ezekiel. Some of you might know, some of you would have studied his famous poem, The Night of the Scorpion. So you might know his writings, you might be familiar with the name. I have shared his image here. So here is Nissim Ezekiel. And let me give you a brief introduction. This writer, Nissim Ezekiel, and he was born in the year 1924 and died in the year 2004. And Nissim Ezekiel is rightly considered to be the father of post independence Indian verse in English. He was a prolific poet, playwright, critic, broadcaster, and social commentator. But as a poet in Indian English writing, Nissim Ezekiel's contribution is outstanding. It is very much substantial and valuable, chiefly because his poetry contains some of the aspects of Indianness. Indianness lies in Ezekiel's commitment to this country and in his earnest and sincere desire to bring about some improvement in the conditions of life in this country through his poetry. And Ezekiel's poetry, if you see, it reflects his desire to depict the depressing, degrading, and disgusting conditions of life in this country. And Nissim Ezekiel has beautifully used Indian experiences, what we call Indianness, from his poetry. So Ezekiel belongs to a immigrant Jewish family, and as a man and as a poet, he has observed and experienced much of Indian life very closely. So Nissim has skillfully used most of the aspects of Indian life and cultures in his poetry. And as a realistic poet, Ezekiel shows the desire to see better conditions of life in his country. And his poems show his love for the country. Nissim Ezekiel vividly describes the extensive poverty and ugliness of India, es- especially in big cities. And if you see in this particular poem, The Railway Clerk, Ezekiel reveals the pathetic condition of a poor railway clerk who represents the wretchedness of the middle class people. And the poem goes on in this manner. No, the clerk will list out his grievances about his lower middle class life, which is full of problems, and he will list out his hardships and the difficulties springing from them. And it is one in a series of very Indian poems in Indian English that Nizam wrote. So the clerk in the poem represents the pathetic condition of many middle class people. So if you see, Ezekiel describes extensively the poverty and ugliness of India, especially in big cities, through his works. And coming into the poem, The Railway Clerk. So I'm going to start this poem. I'll read out the poem now and we will move into the analysis later in the following classes. The Railway Clerk. It isn't my fault. I do what I'm told, but still I'm blamed. This year, my leave application was twice refused. Every day there is so much work, and I don't